You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike post-game show. What's going on? Matt O'Leary, Mitch Anderson. Mitch, vibes are much better today than they were 24 hours ago.
Right. It feels so good to win a goddamn game. Oh, man, it feels good. And right away, right in the comments, right, the first thing that comes up, ignore the standings. We are so back.
I love it. In all seriousness, it feels good to win one. It does. Does this drastically change my opinion on how this team is going? No, of course not. But again, it feels good to win a game.
It does, right? Like Sloppy says, what a difference a day makes. But taking us right back down where we deserve to be. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Correct.
Not
correct.
Wait, this is the best one of the night. Sorry. These are all those spaces wrong. Oh, God. I love this show and this community. It's the best.
We're happy to see you too, buddy. We're happy to see you too. It's coming back. It's coming. It's still a little thin there, but it's only been about a month, so it's still a while to go. But
you'll get there.
Still a game to go here, man. We still got some hockey to play, to talk about at least.
Absolutely. So first period, Mitch, technically no goals for either side, but it appeared that Matt Martin, of all people, in big 2024, almost 2025, was going to get on the board. But unfortunately, offside. That one was ruled back. Were you surprised to see that one called back?
No, that was a fair offside. I know in the Discord you said otherwise. I think there was some back and forth between like if he actually touched it, but like that's not possession. He never possessed. He being the Buffalo Sabres defense never possessed the puck. I was fine that it came back. Although one hell of a move by Matty Mart. Right, like the kind of spinorama he pulls to fake the defender and open the lane. And then, basically they do everything they possibly can to not score the goal, but still score the goal. Technically.
Technically. So no visualization for that one because it doesn't again, it didn't count. But shots 9-6, not a ton of rubber going towards the Sabres net.
No, I didn't like the period. I was worried going through this period that if this is what we were going to see, it's not going to end well. You're coming off a back-to-back. I know so are the Sabres, but I don't care about them necessarily. No. They come off a back-to-back. They looked sloppy. Their puck management was sloppy in the first period. To be fair, so was Buffalo's. But I just thought if this is what we're getting, another 40 minutes of this and we're not getting 2 points. So I don't know if you felt the same way.
No, I definitely did. I just thought it was the word I would use to describe it is lackluster. Lackluster first period for the Islanders. And not that the Sabres were phenomenal. I think it was nine shots, excuse me. So it wasn't like that there was like a ton of chances and the Islanders were getting hemmed in, but it was just kind of like, they got through, no score, whatever, kind of.
Yeah, no worse for wear for it. They didn't win the period, but they didn't lose it either. So still another 40 minutes to go, or at least 20. You had 20 minutes to play a really good period, and then hopefully not crap the bed in the other 20.
And just pray in the third.
Yeah.
But the Islanders would get on the board. They would score on a power play, too, in this economy, Mitch. Anders Lee keeps doing Anders Lee things. Look at this deflection, assisted by Kyle Palmieri here, you'll see in a second.
Well, the Islanders do a really good job. You see that the interchange between Chalowski and Brock Nelson there. They're pulling those defenders that side, opening it up for Kyle Palmieri. So this is set play. Yes, right. Set play here, and they get it to work. So I don't know why all of a sudden he'd be like, hey, we could do set plays, guys. But they figured it out. And Anders Lee does the goddamn thing. 10 goals on the year from him. And like Vegeta said, beautiful pass from Palms.
It was.
Absolutely right on the tape, right flat on the ice. So, yes, thank God for that. And we're up. Great.
And you're up, which is great. Yesterday I said in a lost season, I'm happy for Anders Lee. And he had another multi-point night tonight, which we'll get to in a second. But did a little pace stats.
Okay.
10 goals in 24 games. Anders Lee on pace for 34 goals.
Oh, that is exactly like right into my veins, please. Right.
Again, that would make me happy. Like, are there other problems with this team? Yes, there are many, many problems with this team. We've long been a pro Anders Lee podcast here, and we were down bad last year. But Anders Lee having a great start to the year. Happy for him.
Yeah, let it continue. It's not seemingly luck based per se. He's working hard for these points that he's getting. So hopefully it continues throughout the rest of the season. There's no reason it won't. So
yeah, last year all those deflections were not going in, and this year it feels like it's correcting. Which again, great to see. He had 20 goals last year. He's halfway there through 24 games.
Yeah, exactly. So thank friggin' God. But then we keep it up, right?
Yeah, almost immediately after. How about this? Anders Lee and Simon Holmstrom connect on a goal here.
Yeah, it's just again, like Simon Holmstrom is playing so well right now. Just what he sees the interception happen, and here it goes. Now, of course, he kind of flubs the shot, right?
A little bit, he does.
And like Reimer is in a relatively good position to stop the one timer, but because he flubs it and knuckles over him and in. But sometimes when you're hot, right? He's got 2 goals the other night. He's got a goal now, so it's 3 goals in 2 games for Simon Holmstrom. I did some pacing on him. And on pace for 46 points currently is Simon Holmstrom.
That'd be a nice win in a lost season because Simon Holmstrom's going to be here. Like,
yeah,
you know, that's not someone that they're going to move on from. And if he could settle into a solid defensive first middle 6 guy, great. You know, more so a third line guy. But if he continues to improve and puts up and takes another step forward, and you know, beyond that, maybe he ends up being a second line guy. But the Islanders could absolutely
or more
use that or more. Holmstrom better than McDavid. I love these things.
McDavid, who and Vegeta saying change up is on purpose, basically is what he did. And they'll look Andre bringing in the heat. Like, I know he's got another comment earlier that we'll get to a little bit later, but he is still young AF. 23 years old is Simon Holmstrom. So like he could still get better, man.
Yeah, he absolutely can. And look, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been kind of hard on Simon Holmstrom. But he's starting to find it a little bit. For me, it's always been consistency with him. So I just want to see him continue to build on it. I don't want to see him go back to how he was earlier in this year when he was quiet. Like if he could kind of just go on his way, be a 40-point player, give you, I don't know, 15 goals, something like that. Fantastic. Great.
Yeah. The work that he puts in off the puck has always been good. It's using that to then create these offensive flurries, which he's in right now, and he's got another one coming up in a little bit that I thought was fantastic. Not just because he scored the goal, but how he created that goal. But we'll get to it when we get to it. But we're up 2-0, and I don't think the Islanders' second period was that great. I thought again that they were. Like, what was the word you used earlier?
Lackluster.
That's the one.
The turning point, I think, was the penalty when they go on the power play and they actually score. Because I thought it was 7:23 into the second. I thought the Sabres definitely looked like the better team for the first 5 minutes and change of that period. Whenever the penalty was taken, so it was taken at 7:03. So first 7 minutes, we'll say. Yeah,
they were better, and then the Islanders were able to change that. But I don't think that they won the period outside of obviously they scored more goals, so technically they did. But they didn't play particularly. I thought the Buffalo Sabres didn't play that well, which is fine. Like that's going to happen. There are ebbs and flows in hockey games all the time, and you have to capitalize on them when you're in one or not. And so the Islanders did that in this case, and so good job by them. Just can you freaking do it in the third period?
Yeah. So they were up 2-0. So a 2-goal lead going into the third. A little deja vu because the same thing happened yesterday. They were up a couple goals going into the third, and we know how that ended. So naturally, everyone's holding their breath because they've watched this team. I want to pull up. I saw it. Isles Fix updated the numbers that I pulled up from yesterday. So I want to pull it back up to give the context before we go into the third period. If you just give me a second to scroll back. And okay. So here's the numbers. We'll pull it up right now. 15 of 25 and 19 of 25. So the Isles have held a third period lead in 15 of their 25 games and have entered the third period tied or in a lead in 19 of their 25 games.
That's a lot, man. Like, there's
It is.
so many points left on the board, specifically the 15 of 25. That's the tied, whatever. I don't really care about that because the game could then go either way. But when you're in a lead through 40 minutes, you usually win those games like 75% of the time. And the fact that we aren't, like, not even close is atrocious. And so I'm sure everyone at home today, the second they went into the second period, was like, here we go. And then Noah Dobson within, I don't know, was it like a minute, takes that really dumb like delay of game call. Was Joe's asking where was he tonight, in the penalty box in the third period, in the worst possible time possible.
Yeah.
Unbelievably dumb play.
Yeah, that was a dumb play. It was no, I'm sorry. So that was in the second period. The Noah Dobson puck over the glass was in the second period.
Was it in second? Wow.
Yeah. So in the third period, almost instantly, Alec Tuck takes a tripping against Kyle Palmieri. So Isles go to an early power play. They were horrendous. I don't think they registered a shot on goal in that power play. And then shortly after, Bo Horvath goes off for tripping at 4:23. Right. So that's when I started. I think I even put it in the Discord. I was like, here we go. And I don't want to be a negative guy, but that's just like we've seen it so often. How could that not be your natural reaction of, okay, this is when the wheels are going to start to fall off? But they kill it and they sustain.
And they kept pressing and they kept pressing. You're right. They killed it and they killed it well. I thought they did a really good job of killing that. You can hear, I know they said it on the broadcast a bunch of times, like accentuating the fact that Buffalo were slamming the gate throughout the third period. They were so frustrated. You could hear it through the broadcast. You knew exactly what was happening. The Islanders were really frustrating them. And I thought Simon Holmstrom particularly was doing a good job of just disrupting the play, just cutting off pucks, cutting off passing lanes, and pushing the play forward offensively, which is exactly what happened to score his empty net goal. He cuts off a passing lane, takes a second to settle himself, and throws it in the empty net from quite a distance, but still does it.
Exactly. Still does it. I'll pull do they have the visualization? They do. I'm going to pull that up in a second. One more thing of note that I wanted to talk about. Ilya Sorokin's unreal save on the shorthanded chance, the blocker save. I know he didn't face a ton of shots, ended up facing 29 shots, which isn't a lot, but it's a decent amount.
Yeah.
Was really good tonight. And that was another feel good for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chinny Chin Chin saying, so happy for Ilya there. Absolutely. He deserved it. That one pad, the stop that you're referencing there comes across in the full splits and gets the blocker on it. But watch Simon Holmstrom here. He's highlighted already. Watch him cut off that pass. Bam. Oh my God. He knew where it was going and he got right in there, reading the play.
Read it really well. Takes a couple strides to make sure that he has it, rips it on net, ices this game. Perfect read from him. And they had the empty net for a long time too. So with about 3 minutes left, they pulled the goalie, and with 8 seconds left, the Islanders score. So,
I don't know about you, but it was a lot of watching like this for me, going like, okay.
Yeah. Naturally, that was the case for all of us. But 3-0 Islanders win.
3-0 Islanders win, and like I like some of the comments here. I'm gonna get to most comments that we've got, but like you got Andre saying it's a nice win, encouraged by Holmstrom. Just keep that confidence and assertiveness for Homie getting the 2 goals again. That's 4 goals in 2 games for him, right? You got the 2 against Washington.
Yesterday was the first time in his career that he had a multi-goal game, and then followed it up with another multi-goal game tonight.
Yeah, so good job by him icing this game for us. Outstanding stuff, and it feels good to win. But I like some of the comments here I was referencing. Like, we're still not out of the woods here.
No.
Our views haven't changed.
No.
This doesn't change anything. This has to happen a few more times, like quite a few more times, before we're like, all right, we're back here. Even though we started saying we're back fully.
That little tongue in cheek. In that one. But again, good that they did it. And who knows? Maybe this is what the team needed to get the monkey off the back, so to speak, and they start closing it out. But I'm not going to get there until they prove that they're able to do this over an extended stretch of time.
Yeah, like our man Bill says, like they played for a full 60 minutes tonight. They really did.
They did.
Did they have the best game? No, but they were competitive. They were competing all night from the start to the end. And we talked about it in the last post game just yesterday about needing a little bit of grit, a little bit of sandpaper. I don't know what I'm doing, a money sign, but I'm creating friction. And they had that today. There was some grit in their game. It doesn't mean you're going to try to blast them through the boards. It just means that you're going to be combative. You're going to be assertive. You're going to hold your ice. And you saw that in front of Ilya Sorokin a number of times today. The Islanders were a little bit more gritty, and it paid off. It really did.
It really did pay off. We're going to get into the box score stuff in a second, but I wanted to ask you, what was your thought on the Islanders scratching Pierre Engvall and rolling 7D tonight?
I mean, it worked. So
it did. I feel like, and I like Patrick Waugh. It feels like he is scapegoating Pierre Engvall and using him as the whipping boy. And I'm not saying that like Pierre's been great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's hard for me to see guys like Matt Martin, Oliver Wahlstrom, Kyle McLean, Casey Zizekas play every single night with seemingly no repercussions, but Pierre Engvall is the one held to this different standard.
Yeah, I think it's just, maybe it's a little bit unfair to him because of I guess he was sent down, so he has the more to prove than the other ones who, they did their job through camp, even though they may be doing the same mistakes that Pierre Engvall is committing right now. But I don't know. He doesn't look good. Pierre Engvall, he had that like 3 games with 3 goals, and I think the 3 goals kind of glossed over a few things, but he's just not been good enough. It's the easy scapegoat to make. It really is.
It is.
But
it is.
Maybe there might be something to it, like you're saying.
Like State of Survival says, that wasn't personal. I don't think Fasching needs to get ice time. I don't disagree with them necessarily wanting to get Fasching in, but there's other guys here who've also been passengers.
Yeah. I don't know about Fasching. He didn't convince me today. He was fine, I suppose, but I wasn't. He just seems a little too slow.
Okay. I was going to say his last 2 games have felt very Michael Del Cole-like.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, not a net negative. Wouldn't say he's a net positive, which is honestly fine for the fourth line because most of this year, the fourth line has been a net negative.
Yeah, exactly. I just want that extra pace, which is why maybe Pierre Engvall is getting a little bit harder than others because he's got this kind of this skill set that just can't be replicated easily elsewhere. You can't teach someone to have his kind of skating stride. He's got it. And you're like, just please, for the love of God, use it in this way. You'll be so much better if you do it this way. And he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. You want to take a look at the forwards? Who do you think has the most ice time tonight for the forward group?
I'm going to say it's Bo Horvat.
You'd be correct. 21-38. This guy is so snake bitten. I feel for him. He cannot buy a goal right now, but he's playing well. Like how I look at him on both ends of the ice, like he's creating opportunities. He's had 4 shots on net tonight. He did take the penalty in the third, which wasn't great, but I don't know. He's always involved with in the play. I think eventually it's just gonna snap and he's gonna go on a little bit of a tear. But it's just he's got to be so frustrated right now.
Yeah, like you said, he can't buy a goal. He had a couple of opportunities, even on was it the 3-on-1 where he like sends it wide from the net, and you're going, how did that not even hit the net, Bo?
Yeah. There was one Brock Nelson missed a wide open net too.
Yeah, that's true. That was although I guess he missed the puck as it came over his stick and hit him in the shins.
Yeah,
but oh man, you're right. Bo cannot buy a goal, but he was out there. He was playing hard. He got a ton of shots towards the net. I think near the second period, even Brandon was saying he had like 7 shot attempts. So I would imagine it's up to like 9 shot attempts. That is through the full thing. So good job by Bo Horvat. Deserved the ice time he got.
He did. All right. So least amount of ice time.
I want to say Matt Martin, but I feel like he's not going to be him.
No, it's Hudson Fasching tonight at 9 minutes, 36 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Which makes sense. They had the 11 forwards, right? So there's going to be more ice time to go around. I don't know why we've been going with Matt Martin every night. I just figured I'd just keep going that way.
Totally fair. How about the decor?
Noah Dobson leads the way. That's for sure.
No, Noah Dobson is fourth in ice time for defenseman tonight. Ryan Pulock at 21:32, Romy at 21:27, Mayfield 20:44, and then Noah Dobson at 17:53.
Yeah. So apparently Matty D knew exactly what was going on with Noah D. Dobson was busy filling water bottles and opening the bench door, which is why he was fourth for ice time today.
Apparently so.
My gosh. Okay, so least amount of ice time, I assume, is Grant Hutton?
No, Grant Hutton was fifth at 13:15.
Wow. So
Isaiah George sixth at 13:06. So that leaves Dennis Chalowski at 9 minutes 41 seconds.
Who is playing a lot on the power play. So really begs the question how much 5-on-5 time he's getting. Not a whole lot, that's for damn sure. Oh my God. Which is fine. Whatever. He gives you something on the power play, which you need. And he gets a power play point out of it too. So what do you want, man? Like, good job by him.
Good job by him. 100%.
Unreal.
As for Ilya Sorokin in net, stopped all 29 shots for his 19th career shutout.
19. He needed
He did
not a shutout per se, but a good night. Because he hasn't been playing that well, even just statistically speaking. He's got
a big improvement though to his stats with this shutout, up to a 915 and a 252 goals against. That's more like it.
Right, like a 750 against Boston the last time out, and then an 889 Seattle, 905 against Edmonton. Of course, he's got the 960, 935 there, but he's starting to trend back to where we want him to be, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Right. So, again, happy for Ilya. He was pretty good tonight. Very good.
Absolutely. 100%.
Take a look at some more box score stuff, and then we could close with some comments in here as well. We got 20 shots for the Islanders tonight, so low number, but they scored 3 goals. 29 for Buffalo. Islanders better in the faceoff dot, just like they are every night, 57.1%. Big key, Mitch. 33% on the power play, perfect on the penalty kill.
What a shock. You're good on the special teams and you win a game. What a special, unbelievable. They hacked the hockey game.
6 penalty minutes for Buffalo. Islanders 4. Islanders with a ton of hits, 30-16 in this game. Who led the way with hits?
I assume Matty.
Pulock had 5. Romanov had 4.
Matt Martin with 7.
The vintage Matt Martin. 7 hits and an almost goal.
Yeah, so it was a big night for Matt Martin tonight. Rolling back the years for him.
Giveaways 15-12 and 5-4 for takeaways.
I would have liked to seen the giveaway numbers lower, but on the second leg of a back-to-back, I think I can forgive them, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. To some comments, Sloppy right away saying someone better tell Lou we're not actually back though, because we were talking about
no. Don't trade that first rounder just yet, Lou.
Oh my God, please no. Do you think he was in on Jirasek or Jirasek or however you pronounce that last name? The Columbus defenseman that was traded to Minnesota for a prospect, a first, a second, and a fourth, I think it was.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. As much as I like him,
sure.
I don't know if I'd trade that much. It's a lot.
No, it is a lot. I just don't know if that's the direction that I would look to. The Wild gave up Damon Hunt, a first in 25, a second in 2027, and a 4th round pick.
Right, like that's a lot. Although we're talking about a 6th round pick from 2 years ago. Like there's something there with this kid, although I don't know why they couldn't figure it out.
First rounder, 6th overall.
Yeah, so pretty damn good prospect there.
Right.
Bill, just making sure that we all remember the Spiz is always wrong. Always.
We can't let Spiz get a big head.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, that's because you're not signed up to the Discord, that you're not signed up to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/uptheturnpike. Spiz is one of our patrons, as is Bill, as is Matty D, as is a few other people. Sign up today, get in on the Discord, get in on the podcasts. go check that out. Right meow. It'll be a happy Christmas for you. Maybe not for me because I don't like Christmas, but you'll hear all about that over the next month on Patreon. That's for damn sure. Let's go Isles and Ilya from Bryson. Absolutely. Good job by him. Okay, then we got pretty even versus a bottom feeder team. Sorokin gets us the win. I'm not planning the parade just yet.
No, not planning any parades. Buffalo is higher in the standings than the Islanders, though. Are they in a playoff spot still right now?
I don't think so.
They're 3 points out of a playoff spot. The Flyers are in the second wild card spot right now.
It is tight in the East. It really is. Like if you look at the Montreal Canadiens, I think they're still last in the East. It's what, like 4 points between us and the Montreal Canadiens, or even a playoff spot in the Montreal Canadiens.
It's 5 points now after the Canadiens lost in regulation to the Rangers earlier. But the Islanders are 3 points out of a playoff spot and 5 points out of last in the conference. So like, there's a lot of teams still in the mix for these wildcard spots.
The margins are still tight. How about Joe saying Lee's the Isles MVP so far? Do you agree with that? I don't think it's disagreeable. I think we might have a different MVP.
No, maybe Palmieri.
Yeah. It'd probably be somewhere around Lee, Palms, and maybe even Ryan Pulock. I've loved Ryan Pulock's game all year.
I have too. I feel like it's a mixed bag with Pulock, but not from us or what I've seen, but I feel like you have people with both Pulock and Romanov. People either love them or they think they're horrible, which I don't get, by the way. But I think both have been pretty good.
Yeah. Chad saying, I'm hopeful Simon will be another Yuri Latinin, solid two-way forward for some great Dallas teams. That is a pull. I love that. Guy who can put up 40 to 50 points and play in all situations.
Please.
Right?
That would be fantastic if that's what he turned into.
Absolutely. Of course, everyone's like comparing him right now to Connor McMichael because McMichael is scoring a bajillion points. Although I don't think he's scoring a whole heck of a lot now that Ovi's out. But this seems sustainable for Simon Holmstrom being like a 50-ish point player. And maybe more. Again, like Andre said, he's still only 23 years old. He's only going to get better for another year or so.
I think the easier comparison is make one to former Islander, Josh Bailey.
I think that's made somewhere else in the comments that we'll probably get to. There's a few comments here, but I did see Josh Bailey's name pop up there at one point.
Not like 70-point Josh Bailey, but like
not elite Josh.
I don't know, 20. Yeah, like I don't know. 40-point, 50-point Josh Bailey, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Andre as well thinks that Siplikov was terrific tonight. It's just me, or he added some speed through improved skating. Some of his rushes were terrific. I think that might be just you in terms of the speed. I thought he was playing well. I don't think he.
Yeah,
faster.
Faster? No. I wasn't going to say faster, but I think he's been fine. So far this year, in his role, he's slowed down a little bit, 13 points in 24 games. He's pacing out to 44. So not horrible. I think he's been fine.
Yeah. For the price that we're paying him on an ELC, great. It's a great find. Love it.
Absolutely.
Again, like middle six guy. Joe's asking what we think about Grant Hutton.
I think he's a seventh defenseman. Yeah. So like he came in today in essentially a 7th E role, right? He was the next man up. I don't think he's an everyday like 6th defenseman on a good team. Do you?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's a borderline NHLer is what he is.
But he didn't do anything that stood out as like a negative for me tonight.
No, and I know they praised him at the beginning of the show on the broadcast because he made a decent play in tight, which you're fine, but like it's few and far between. Again, I liked your Michael Dalcolian kind of comparison.
Comp, yeah.
Was not a negative, but was not a positive. Was okay, which is fine. You need that at some point, at least when you're replacing injured players.
And when on a lot of nights they're just not okay defensively, they're horrendous, and that's what ends up costing them. They didn't have those horrendous moments tonight.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about this? At this point, Engvall is better than Wahlstrom. I think you would agree to this.
Hard agree for me. Wahlstrom, I don't know how he continues to get trotted out there.
Yeah. Well, Joe's asking the same thing. When does he get benched or waived?
He has 2 points in 20 games and has 8 points in his last 52 games.
Yeah, it's not. And just there's someone else who mentioned it. I saw it come across here who was at the game. Yeah, there. I can't read that all together, but a great game. And I went, Holmstrom doesn't look like he's putting in the effort. I agree, man. I agree.
I agree too. And his ice time is going down, which is not surprising because of his play. Like, I think his play justifies his ice time going down. But I feel like I say it every night. The whole fourth line essentially is unplayable. They had a couple good shifts tonight. I'm going to give them credit because you know what? They won tonight and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything that stood out as negatives, but more often than not, I don't like when that line is out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. State of Survival says Nelson looks like he's in his prime right now. And then Fanzem, I can't read apparently. I do like the Jake the Snake Roberts picture here. That's friggin' fantastic.
That's very cool.
Nelson should have more than a first rounder. Yeah. When we get to that point, assuming we're there, which I hope to God we're not. But if we get there, I totally agree that he gets more than a first.
I think it would be a first plus.
Yeah. Think carefully. If Nelson nets a first, it will be bottom of first round. They need to get back a top prospect. That is an important contextual piece to consider. Like when you're talking about first rounders, you're not getting a top 10 pick for him unless it's a top, like a pick from next year. That's like lottery protected or something.
Yeah.
And even then it's not top 10.
It's tough, right? Because if you're trading him to a team, that's probably a team that's looking to make a deep playoff run. So that's at least 25 to 32, let's say. And that's a lot different than a top 15 pick, we'll call it. But still, this is supposed to be a deep draft. And I don't know, it's all about assets, right? Like you don't necessarily have to sit and pick at 27, we'll say.
Exactly. You pull a Gar Snow, you package 2 firsts and you get, or 2 seconds, you move up, or you package a first and something, you move up even higher. But it kind of gets like Mercy's talking about here, the trade or sorry, the rebuild or retool. We're on team retool. And I think they're kind of in the same boat. They're just saying rebuild because they're looking for more moves. I think we both agree, Matt, that this is effectively what you would call a retool.
This would be my description of a retool.
Yeah.
To me, in my opinion, a rebuild is like completely tear it all the way down to the studs, which I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
I think they're going to revamp it, but guys, you're revamping around. Barzal, Duclair is going to be here. Bo's going to be here. Sorokin's going to be here. I would say Polak, Romanov, maybe Dobson. Like I think they end up keeping Dobson.
Maybe.
I know. I know.
Maybe.
But more than how about more than likely Dobson?
Look out, Dobson. There's a bus coming and Matt O'Leary's driving it.
I'm sorry. I have my concerns with paying him as a number 1 defenseman.
I agree. And you don't want to see him get like a massive payday. Like not massive in terms of, $7 million, I think is fine. But you're saying like, I don't want to see him get like an $8 to $9 million deal.
Yeah, that would make me nervous. That's all I'm saying on that. I hope that if he gets that kind of payday, that he goes back to being like the point producer he was a year ago.
Yeah.
But right now he's at like a half a point per game, if not worse than that.
Yeah. So not turning into be a 70-point player right now.
10 points in 24 games is paced out to, please hold, 34.
He needs to install Twitter and delete it again.
Yeah. Just go on for like a day.
Yeah.
You could do the Sauce Gardner. Go on, piss some people off, get it at me. Go on, no Dobson, log back on at me. Tell me I'm ridiculous, that you deserve the contract, and then delete it.
Yeah. And then go and be a 70-point defenseman again. Or
Please.
do a different one. Install Blue Sky or Bluer Sky or whatever the hell it's called. I'm not even on it yet. And delete that. I have a hard time managing my current social media. I don't want to add another one to the mix.
That's my exact reason for not getting on it. There's too much.
Yeah, exactly. And then delete that. And then you'd be like a 90-point defense, 100-point defense. Maybe if you do both.
What about, okay, new plan.
Yeah.
Consistent 50-point defenseman and actually good defensively.
Oh, How about better plan? We get him to sign up to TikTok, make friends with Spiz, have Spiz feed him all the bajillion TikToks that Spiz will do, and then he deletes it. And the relief of that, 150 point Bobby Orr 2.0. Here we go.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Nailed it. Perfect. What worries me is this. Did Patty say something new today?
I just looked to see if there was anything new. I'm assuming this is the comments talking about his shot from a couple days ago.
I thought so. Yes, we did state in like because he did that before the Washington game, right? And what sorry, I didn't want to bring up this. Sorry, Joe. Did you bring that up?
It was before. It was on the 27th, so that might have been before, not the Washington, the one before that.
Okay, whatever game it was before, he brought it up, and Ovi had, I don't know, Ovi. Oh my god, I keep thinking Ovi of Wallstrom having like 4 shots on net. Like he was trying to throw a crazy ton of pucks towards whatever net to prove Patty wrong, and it didn't really work.
No, it didn't. The quote, in case you missed it, everyone's been telling me he's a good finisher. I haven't seen that yet, but I want to see those things. I think Wally could offer us more than what he's been doing. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
hard agree.
And it's fallen off since then. He got the bump, like Wally got the bump from that, and we haven't seen from him since, which I think he might be washed. Do you think Cizikas is washed? I know you've had concerns about him all year.
I do have my concerns with Casey Cizikas. I don't think it's been very good.
No. And then 2 last ones here. When Sorokin is on his game, which is almost every time, it's tough to score on him, which is true.
It is true. A nice performance tonight. Bumped up his save percentage by 6 percentage points, and his goals against dropped from 2.7 to 2.52, which is great.
That is great. Heading in the right direction. Love to see it. And then Galaxy Brain for me, because no Dobson, and then the signing. And the last one, just to close it off with a bow here from Matty D, who says, my neighbors on both sides and in front of our house put up outdoor decorations, and they're always on all night. Mitch would be in hell. I know he says heaven on my blog. I hate it. I not grew up, but I lived on a street where every house did full-on Christmas. It's called Taffy Lane in Ottawa. If you look it up, they turned the street into a one-way in the Christmas season, so everyone could drive down this stupid goddamn street to see all the goddamn lights, and I hated it. Trying to get out of my house to go anywhere took 20 to 30 minutes minimum. I hated it. Christmas is a dumb holiday outside of hanging out with your family and having a big-ass meal. That is my favorite part of Christmas, and that's why Thanksgiving is the king of holidays. End of TED Talk.
State Survival says 24/7 potty. We might just have to be live all the time and just talk it up with these guys in here. Love the post games, love the chats that we do after each one of these games. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah. More, I guess. We'll have to do more of these.
We will have to do more.
Hit the subscribe button, and we'll definitely do more.
Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We appreciate you for hanging out with us. I'm Matt. He's Mitch. We'll talk to you next time.